Number 8, recommend scheduling workshop Tuesday, May 5th, 2015, beginning at 9 a.m. regarding options for location of judicial facility in downtown Milton by HOK Incorporated. Any comments? Name and address, please.
Cassandra Sharp, 3109 Waterview Drive. First, I would like to state that I do support the City of Milton remaining the county seat. And so I don't want there to be any confusion about my next comments. I wanted to make you aware of a newspaper article that came out in today's Navarre Press, and it has to do with the second Sunshine Law, alleged Sunshine Law violation by the City of Milton Courthouse Committee. So I will leave this for your review. There have been some questions raised as to whether or not, since the inception of that task force, which was created out of the Downtown Redevelopment Advisory Board, if it has operated in the Sunshine Law, and whether or not some public records laws have been violated. I am a property owner who is affected by the courthouse decision. I'm the owner of Parcel 1. I have also been affected over the years, the ongoing process of finding a new courthouse, the tearing down of the jail. I have sustained damage to my property when the jail was torn down, when my Oak Street was torn down. I met with Mr. Walker. Nothing's ever been done. I have held off on developing my property, hoping for a decision to be made, so my intent is not to delay that process. But as we hear a lot about decisions being made, not being made on politics, but good decisions, I do question, as an affected party, the influence that this group has had in the members of this courthouse committee and what direct involvement they have. And I do ask that you ask yourselves, how much influence have you had in your decision-making process by the City of Milton Courthouse Committee? Former Mayor Thompson has stated that this group is the driving force behind making sure that the City of Milton stays on task for trying to keep the downtown location. Look at who's members of the group. Please look at whether they're property owners, if they're affected by the courthouse function, staying or going. Some would say I would stand to gain financially, not based on HOK's price that they think that the county could purchase the property for, but please look into all of that. There's a lot of political ties to who serves on that group. We have downtown property owners. We have people that are directly involved with the courthouse function who have recently moved their offices close by to this location. So I just ask that you really take a look at that, and I hope that the City of Milton does not end up with some ethical problems on top of this other potential problem. And so please take that into consideration. I remember when Pea Ridge was being looked at, when East Milton was being looked at, it was all being questioned as far as who was involved, who could potentially gain financially from it. And so I hope that as you try to make a decision for all of Santa Rosa County citizens, I hope you'll look at your process very carefully and who's involved and who might possibly be influencing you in your decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Keep in mind, this is not the workshop today. We're going to have the workshop on the 5th. So
I thought you were discussing it today. That's why I'm here, but I still wanted to speak so that you'd be prepared.
I just wanted to remind everybody. Name and address, please.
Morning, Commissioners. Brad Johnson, 5664 Heatherton Road, Milton, Florida. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to, as I understood it, what was on the agenda was just simply to approve whether or not to have a workshop next week, in 2 weeks, with regard to the courthouse location. Obviously, as this commission is aware, I have been vocal before I was ever appointed to any type of commission as to where I thought the courthouse ought to be, simply because I grew up in and from Milton. My father was in Milton, my grandfather was in Milton. They all practiced law in downtown Milton. And historically, it's just where historically the courthouse has been. there was a reference made by Ms. Sharp just a moment ago that since the last election, some places, some of the members of the committee, I am a member of the committee, have moved their offices downtown. Well, of course, the courthouse is downtown. That's where it's currently located. That's where historically our office was until it was burned down many years ago, back in 2009, and we were temporarily displaced and had been renting until an opportunity arose to move back downtown. Of course, if ultimately the courthouse moved elsewhere, in all likelihood, most of the businesses downtown would try and follow. So there's nothing nefarious or anything along those lines with regard to that issue. I think as far as the commission's decision, the commission actually made a decision, placed 3 locations on the ballot last year. The county voted. There was 1 location that had a majority in terms of what was voted on, and the commission, I think, has made a wise decision to try and focus on 1 location and see if we can get a consensus at that point. I think it relied upon what the county had voted in that last election, and that's what the motivating and driving force behind this current decision and the focus, where the focus has currently gone. I understand, based on some comments by various commissioners, that some commissioners are still concerned that that may or may not be the proper location, or there may or may not be issues with those locations, or with the location that's currently being focused on. That's why this process is being gone through in the way that it is, and that's why the town hall meeting is being held in a couple of weeks, and I think that the commission is working diligently, and I applaud them for focusing on what I think is a response to the voters of Santa Rosa County. I just want to express my appreciation as a citizen of Santa Rosa County for that and that focus. Thank you very much.
Okay, any comments by the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Rob Williamson.
I just want to say, first of all, thanks for coming today, and I think I speak for everyone here when I say that if it's in the Navarre Press, we know that it's definitely true. And so taking that at heart, I think that I will just say that evaluating all feedback is how I would arrive at my decisions. It won't be based on one group or one citizen or one report or another. It's going to be based on all the information, and that's what I believe this is. In my mind, that's exactly what we're going through right now, an evaluation. And my mind is not, we haven't cast any votes yet. And I want to make my decision based on what's best for Santa Rosa County. So I just want to let you know I'll be approaching this process with an open mind.
Thank you. Ms. White, be nice.
Good morning, Romy White, 8575 Gulf Boulevard. I'm also a writer for Navarre Press. Mr. Williamson, your comment that you just made about Navarre Press, please tell me something that has appeared in Navarre Press that wasn't true.
As I just said, Ms. White, if it's in the Navarre Press, it must be true.
Okay, so that was not a sarcastic statement?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Moving along. Here again, recommend scheduling workshop Tuesday, May 5th, 2015, beginning at 9 a.m. regarding options for location of judicial facility in downtown Milton by HOK Incorporated. Move approval without objection. Here, none, it passes.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh,
You
I'm
mind-
sorry.
Couple other comments.
I know you're ready to. Are you tired of talking about the courthouse since you've been doing it for the last 15 years or so?
I'm ready.
Because Ms. Cassandra and Brad as well, thank you for coming up and speaking to us. We've gotten emails, or I have, and seen different reports in papers and such where people say that, the decision's being rushed or anything like that, but we're talking about this, that's something that's going to come up for vote on March 15th. And you're exactly right. Any site that this board chooses needs to be vetted 100%. We're going to have a specific workshop that was, I think the document was 67 pages. We need a meeting just to that, and the courthouse brings out such emotion with people. We need a meeting just for that. So I definitely think the main meeting will be great. But we're going to talk about things at the main meeting, go over that document, and then come up with a guideline of how we're going to choose which building we like the best, what design we like best, and everything like that. And from there on, there's going to be a lot of decisions that have to be made. But if we can figure that out in May or June, we've got 6 months before the ballot language has to be written where we can vet this project. We can talk about Highway 90 through downtown. We can talk about parking. We can talk about flood zone. We can talk about all these things in a public meeting that need to be done in a public meeting, because it does need to be vetted. You're right. And I think the way we're going about this is the right way, because we're starting early. We're going to make decisions. And last year, I think we had 2 weeks whenever we finally got the number of what HOK gave us. It was 2 weeks before the ballot language or 3 weeks before the ballot language. Now we're a good 6 months out. And after that decision is made and the ballot language is made, we have another 4 months before it's voted on. So for anybody listening or anybody that's out on the computer listening, we're going to vet this project. We're going to have public meetings, and we're going to put all the options on the table, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to make the decision that 3 of us, I guess, and hopefully 5 of us, but 3 of us feel is best as we move forward with the courthouse issue. But I don't want you to think that this is something that's being rushed. It's not. We're almost a year away from March 15, where this could potentially go on the ballot, and we're going to make sure that this project is vetted properly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Cole.
just one other comment. And I don't recall the entire statute. I thought I had it on my laptop, but it's a Florida statute 113 point something or other. But and we're all familiar with it. It describes what a public official is, and then it goes on to say that, as we all well know, no vote that we take can benefit us either positively or negatively. But it goes on to highlight in that statute to operate or partake in any manner of discussion or involvement to that. So I think, the county attorney, or possibly the city and the county attorney, need to possibly identify those people that are either on the courthouse committee, city council, this board, anybody that's involved in pushing that agenda forward for the downtown courthouse, make sure that we're not in violation of that statute.
I don't see how we could be, because the committee's connected back to the Milton City Council and has nothing to do with us appointing anyone. Is that correct, Roy?
That's correct. I mean, it's an advisory committee to the city of Milton, not to the Santa Rosa County. So it has no, has no direct connection with us whatsoever.
We'll just ask Mr. Andrews to make sure that everything stays above board. All right, any other comments? We'll move forward. That's already been approved. Number 9,